In this video, I want to talk about journaling and how it helps me capture, document, and process my life. I started journaling at a much younger age, and I'd simply write down occasional entries of experiences that were worth taking note of. And the other day I was going through some boxes and I was reading through some of these old journals. It was really fascinating looking back at these experiences and how it affected me at the time. I also in the past have journaled whenever I've been traveling. On specific trips, I have made sure to regularly write entries and just capture, first of all, where I've gone, what I've experienced. What I'd also write down is my thoughts about what I was experiencing and how it made me feel. But here's the thing, I've only recently got back into journaling over sort of the past few years after realizing the power of words. It became very clear to me that writing and reading is just so crucial, and it's the way we capture information and we pass it along. So in this video, I'd like to share 5 ways I use journaling in my life. So number 1 is capturing and documenting experiences and life in general. So I try to do this as often as possible. Sometimes I'll just write down a few bullet points, but I'll try regularly write down to kind of keep track of what I've been doing in my life. And as I shared earlier in this video, there will be a time where I can look back at this and it'll probably be very interesting. Number 2 is exploring thoughts, ideas, dreams, and challenges. And this is all about just writing and getting your thoughts and your feelings and your ideas or whatever onto paper. And the way it works with the brain is that once we start writing, our brain just keeps producing and we can almost unload whatever is in our head onto the page. And it is strange how that just expands. You might just have a simple idea, but as soon as you start writing about it, it just keeps growing and growing. And the end result of that is that we can empty our mind and we can sort of free up our mental RAM. The same way a computer has temporary memory, I believe we also have a mental capacity of what we can think of and have on our mind. So if we can write stuff down and capture it, we can free up that space to use it for other tasks. Then obviously also by capturing ideas, challenges, thoughts, dreams, it really helps me better understand myself. It happens frequently that I have a dream and in the middle of the night I'll grab my cell phone and I'll actually write down the dream as I remember it, because I know that when I wake up it's all going to be gone. Other times I'll have different ideas and I'll just make sure that I write them down somewhere. There's actually a separate video I made all about capturing your ideas and action items, so make sure to check that out. Number 3 is dealing with life shocks and strong emotions. I actually got this tip from my girlfriend Lara, so thanks for this. I remember when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, it was one of the most challenging moments of my life, and that evening, I remember I was standing in the shower and I was just crying. And afterwards, Lara gave me the advice to just write about it. And I ended up writing a few pages, putting my emotions on paper. So writing that all out just definitely helped me. Sometimes we just have to unload our feelings or our experience. It's just so overwhelming. And one way to get rid of that is to write it down. Number 4 is to flesh out a problem and to explore various options as a potential solution. And when you face some kind of a decision in life or a problem, you need to find a solution. I found what helps me is to write about it. So I'll write down, I'll define the problem, I'll define all the aspects of the problem, and then I'll come up with options, and I'll write more and more and more about those options as I think about them. And that just helps me process my thoughts, my ideas. Again, it's sort of the whole thing of processing and capturing, or rather capturing and then processing, and then ultimately making a decision. It also helps me deal with it at a later stage where I might want to refer to something that I remember writing down, and if I have it in a system, then it's all there. I don't have to try and find it in my mind because it'll probably be locked away somewhere. And number 5, last but not least, is exploring creativity. And when it comes to this one, it makes me think of either writing a poem or writing music, or again, writing down some kind of a vision or a dream or an idea, whether it's for a new project or a new business, whatever it is, whether it's the start of a poem or a song or a story or a book. The first step is just to write it down and to get your thoughts onto the page. So from a creative standpoint, it's really powerful to just write and get everything onto the page. So that's it. Journaling has definitely helped me in my life, and I'll continue to journal going forward. When it comes to tools, in the past I have been using the Day One app, which is on the Mac and also on the iPhone. I really enjoyed that app. I used it for a few years. It also lets you upload photos and tag your location, and then you can actually export the entire journal as a PDF and back it up. It used to sync with Dropbox. The latest version, I believe, only syncs with the cloud storage that Day One, as in the company and the app, provides, and I know some people aren't too happy with that. Lately, I've taken a step back and I tend to journal in my Notes app, and then I also journal in Google Docs. So that works for me right now, but it's always good to find whatever works for you, even if it's the actual handwritten journal. That also works really well. If you're already journaling, I'm sure you know the power of all of this, but if you haven't, or if you don't journal, definitely give it a try and see how it can affect your life. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.